and see your name there.
A huge, loud. I knew with my injuries that I wasn't going to be able to play. Having my career cut short by a drunk driver was the worst part of my life. I knew if there was, one firm to get me justice and to get me compensated for that, it was going to be Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan has definitely really helped me in the toughest, darkest moments of my life. Those guys were there for me. I'm Chandler Parsons, and I chose Morgan & Morgan.
CBS News Miami is streaming CBS 4 News. Download now.
Welcome back to CBS Saturday Morning. Some actors make a big splash in Hollywood with starring roles in blockbuster films. Others end up playing the long game, showing up in smaller parts in careers that can endure for decades. And of those, few can match the record of a man who was honored this week. Marcy Gonzalez has his story.
Can we get an order of dumplings, but with 3 instead of 4?
No substitutions.
This isn't a substitution, it's a reduction.
Okay, no reductions.
You've seen him in some of the most popular TV shows of all time, from The Big Bang Theory to Seinfeld.
How much longer is it going to be?
About 5-10 minutes.
And he was making his mark in movies long before that.
You wait. You wait.
In classics like Chinatown.
I could go on for hours, but I'd probably start to bore you.
Comedies like Airplane.
I really couldn't blame Elaine. She wanted a career.
And even animated fare as a voice in Kung Fu Panda.
Paul, forget everything else. Your destiny still awaits. We are Doodle Folk.
In his nearly 70 years in show business, James Hong has appeared in nearly 700 movies.
And now, my beloved disciples.
And TV shows.
Well, maybe we could have a little workout of our own.
No boom boom before big fight.
Making him one of the most prolific actors you may have never heard of until now.
A lot of people know your face, but maybe not your name. What is that like?
I don't like it. I wish they could, look at my face and then say James Hong, Some of them do.
At 93 years old, that wish is now coming true, along with a much bigger one.
James Hong!
Hong was honored this week with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the oldest performer ever to receive one.
How surreal is it to look down and see your name there?
I can't get over it, really. To see it there, it's really something. It means a lot.
Born in Minnesota to Chinese immigrant parents, moved to California in the early 1950s. He worked as an engineer until trying his hand at acting, quickly landing the roles that launched his career.
I think this first movie was with Clark Gable in Soldier of Fortune. From that, I did Blood Alley with John Wayne. But in those days, it was almost all cliche roles, gimmick roles. But we never got to play the leading roles when I first started. So that was a big handicap.
2 specials. No, 2 Hong Kong dinners. But I heard you say 2 specials.
Hong set out to change that. In 1965, he co-created the East-West Players, a theater group still active today with a mission to expand roles for Asian Americans.
And then, of course, I tried to convince the producer and directors in the guild to use the Asian Americans. It's a very slow process, as you can see. It took 70 years. What can I say?
After decades of paving the way for other Asian American actors, a famous friend decided it was time to carve out a place in Hollywood history for him. Hawaii Five-0 star Daniel Dae Kim nominated Hong for the Walk of Fame star and even started a fundraiser to pay for it.
No one will have blazed a trail the way that James Hong has.
Kim was at the unveiling ceremony along with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us?
Who stars with Hong in the newly released sci-fi comedy Everything Everywhere All at Once. because even at 93, Hong, who some call the hardest working man in show business, is still full of energy and the drive that's guided each step of his still thriving career.
So I don't really want to give up acting. I don't want to retire, you know. I'm due for a vacation, but I think acting is my vacation.
Besides, you are very successful.
For CBS Saturday Morning, I'm Marcy Gonzalez in Hollywood.
Man, nice when your job can be your vacation. By the way, there are more than 2,700 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Only 19 of them represent Asian Americans, which includes James Hong now.
Yeah. Good for him. Nearly 700 movies and TV shows. That is just extraordinary.
Clark Gable to Mike Myers.
Yeah,
I know. How about that? Amazing. Well, now we have a look at our weather.
Good morning.